What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Chill, where I, Graham G.S. Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network as well as on the E! Network, as today we're talking Season 6, Episode 4 of Total Bellas, entitled A Bella Baby Shower. So again, this was the 4th episode of the 6th season. We get right off and running here, the very first thing that we hear from this episode, and I swear, I feel like every episode has been like this, dating back to the beginning of this season as well as the last season. But the first thing that we hear from this episode is from Brie, talking about how much hornier Nikki has been during her pregnancy. Something I didn't exactly need to know, but that became the theme of this episode anyway. That is literally the biggest subplot, or the biggest plot of this episode, is the whole Nikki Bella being sexually frustrated thing, just due to being pregnant and Artem not wanting to touch her with a 10-foot pole. No pun intended, I guess. But just due to the fact, I guess, that she's pregnant, and there's like this misconception that you can't really have sex when you're pregnant. I'll get into it as we go along here. It's a very weird episode of review. I never thought I'd be talking about this in any sort of review ever, but this is Total Bellas, and nothing is off limits. So, in addition to that, there is also the other more important plot, I would say, here on this episode, that Kathy, Mama Bella, wants to plan the baby shower for Brie and Nikki. As, you know, Brie got to have 2 great baby showers for her first baby, that being Birdie Joe a couple of years ago. With the pandemic happening, social distancing, masks, and stuff like that, it just becomes more difficult to do something like that. And Brie doesn't want to slight Nikki. She wants her to get what she deserves, and that being her own baby shower. So they're going to have Kathy plan it with Birdie, which is funny. But the Bellas are worried that she's not going to do right by it, whether it be she's not going to know what a good idea of, like, what's, you know, I don't want to say hip, but like what's cool, what they would want, as well as who they'll invite, whether it be friends, family, whatever. You know, specifically, Nikki wants this to be more friends-based and not invite. And when I say any family, I specifically mean JJ and Lauren, as was previously established on another episode, that with the baby shower, you know, JJ and Nikki aren't on good terms right now. They aren't on speaking terms. They'll speak very rarely. So they don't want him at the baby shower. They don't want him there. They don't want the negative energy. They're still working towards getting back on the same page. And they also wanted their dad there originally, and if the mom is planning it, then she's not going to invite the dad, obviously, because she's not on good terms with the dad. So they're kind of skeptical as to how she's going to run this thing. Nikki's also a little upset, too, that she hasn't seen any of her friends, that during her entire pregnancy up to this point, she hasn't had anyone touch her stomach outside of probably just Brie and Artem and people like that. But none of her friends have actually seen her in person, so that's why she really wants to have this baby shower. And even the mom says that the mom doesn't feel comfortable inviting just friends and not any family. She really wants JJ and Lauren and the rest of the family to be there. So they all wish they could just kind of go all out with this thing and not have to worry about the pandemic and have this bar and stuff like that, but they can't do that given the current circumstances. So we come back from commercial break. Again, the first thing that we see is thankfully blurred and whatnot for the younger viewers watching at home. But Nikki is swimming in her pool in the nude. Why she's doing this? I guess, again, because she's sexually frustrated. How this would fill that void, I have no idea. I guess it's supposed to entice Artem to go in there and take care of business, so to speak. But he doesn't. It's completely that sort of things, like, I don't want to say sex life and whatnot, but I guess that's kind of what we're talking about here. For Artem, at least in Russia, that part of the culture is completely separate than going in the pool and doing things out in the open and whatever. It's more of a private thing. So he doesn't feel comfortable following in her footsteps and doing that sort of stuff. I don't want to say out in the open because it is their backyard, but anyone can walk in at any given moment. And I think the most important thing here that they kind of look over, they're talking about how, oh, anyone can peer over and see, blah, blah, blah. What about your own fucking sister? Brie lives right there. Brie and Daniel live right there with Birdie Joe, our 2-year-old, 3-year-old girl. So I thought that was bizarre. Now, they don't even really bring that up. Maybe they did and I missed it, but it's like, you're not worried about your own family. I mean, obviously strangers, but you're not worried about your own family walking over when they live right there. So I thought that was really weird. So Nikki even mentions that she's more sexual than usual just because she's been trying to get Artem's attention and that he hasn't had sex with her. In her words, this is what she says, because he feels, not literally, but he believes that if he was to have sex with her while she's pregnant, that he might poke the baby. I don't know if that's a common misconception or what. I don't know if I can't even say that's the first time I've heard that. It's just a very weird thing to talk about. This is really what dominates the entire episode. So that's what he told her, and that's why he doesn't want to do anything with her, because that's his fear, which is fucking weird. Obviously, he wouldn't, but that's his fear. And again, I've never had a pregnant wife, so I can't say if I would be in that same position or not, but it's a weird thing for guys, apparently. Apparently, this is not a very uncommon thing. So anyway, Kathy feels like if she doesn't invite the family to the baby shower, then there's going to be some family drama. So she feels like the Bellas should be inviting their family to this upcoming baby shower. The Bellas also talk Kathy into talking to the same therapist that they did, the relationship coach from a couple of episodes ago, that really helped them a lot with the whole JJ situation. They're not back on talking terms, obviously. They're not back on speaking terms, but it was a step in the right direction. So they direct her to the relationship coach. And at the same time, again, like I said earlier, Brie feels really bad that Nikki hasn't gotten anything during her pregnancy. Like, no baby showers. Brie had 2 during her first one. It looks like Nikki's going to get none at the current rate. Because if Kathy's not going to organize it, if they don't want to... It's a double-edged sword, because if she organizes it, family will be there. There might be family drama. If they're not there, there might be family drama. And in addition to that, if she doesn't do it, there's no baby shower. So it's a really tough position to be in. Nonetheless, Artem tells Brie about the whole nudity thing with Nikki, and how it's a problem and whatnot. And Brie doesn't, I guess, doesn't really give a shit about it, which is weird, considering that she lives right there and she has a 3-year-old daughter. But that notwithstanding, she wants to help Artem address the issue just because she likes pranking Nikki. So they go over to Nikki's place and they tell her that the neighbors caught her on camera doing what she did in the pool, essentially going skinny dipping in their own pool. And Nikki believes it. And then they tell her that it was fake, and they kind of go back and forth about it. And Nikki even says that Artem has barely even touched her since she became pregnant. And that's really what's kind of gotten her down. And Artem he doesn't realize it's an issue. He doesn't really realize it's a problem until he gets talked to later on, which I'll get to in a second. So Kathy gives the Bellas a baby shower update and agrees, after talking to that therapist, that it was their decision to not invite the family. Not hers. It's not her baby shower. So she's going to back off. And in doing so, it allows the Bellas to be like, oh, you know what? We should invite a few of them. We probably should invite our cousin or niece or whoever that girl was. I think the daughter, actually, John Laurinaitis, Kathy's, not adopted daughter, but her stepdaughter. I forgot what her name was. She was a big part of one of the episodes several seasons ago. As well as Lauren. They want to invite him to the baby shower because Kathy backed off. They now kind of want to, help out. They want to help out because she's not forcing them to be there, which is nice. So they also realize that it's their guest list, or she realized it's their guest list, which is why she's kind of going to give them free reign for them to do what they want to do and whatnot. So then Brie talks to Artem about the whole Nikki situation, saying that she understands where Nikki is coming from, having dealt with something similar while she was pregnant. Not pregnant with Daniel Bryan, but after she was impregnated by Daniel Bryan, and she was pregnant, and Daniel, I guess, was in a very similar situation. So she wants Bryan, actually, to have a talk with Artem about what's going on. And it's a very weird thing to discuss, period, but a very weird thing to discuss specifically between those two, because you're not quite on that level yet, Bryan says, but he says he'll do it anyway, because he tells Artem, and it's a very awkward conversation, that when he helped out, again, this is very weird, but when he was doing that sort of stuff with Brie while she was pregnant, he looked at it as a job. And it was more so, not that he hated it, but, just kind of get through it and enjoy this unique period in your life, because it's only going to happen once or maybe twice. So enjoy it while it lasts, is basically what he says. And Artem says that he's willing to give it a shot. So ultimately, they have the baby shower. The twins are glad that they do it. They invite Lauren there and John Laurinaitis' daughter, which wasn't really a problem. It was more so Lauren. And they did so, again, after they realized that Kathy respected their wishes, so they figured that she would respect hers. They figured that they would respect hers by inviting Lauren anyway. And they just want to keep it positive and loving and blah, blah, blah. And so Kathy was very happy that they invited the family, and that's when JJ FaceTimes in. So JJ has very minimal interaction with Brie and Nikki, and Nikki and JJ have more of an issue than Brie and JJ do. So Brie is fine with it, but Nikki kind of feels uncomfortable, but they kind of get over it. And Nikki was happy to see JJ make an appearance. Hopefully things go back to the way that they were, and she feels like it was great for her nieces and family in order to be there, so she was really happy about that. And Artem, while there, gets Nikki a Gucci diaper bag, which is such a Nikki thing to get. So to the very end of the episode, again, Artem working on the whole pregnancy thing, and I mean, obviously Nikkis already pregnant, but he wants to kind of help her out with the whole sexual frustration thing. He tries playing some sort of like blindfold game with her by they feed each other strawberries, like chocolate covered strawberries while they're blindfolded. A really weird thing, but they eventually do the deal, and that's when the episode ends. And obviously we don't see anything. The door closes. I'm not even sure if it actually happened or if it was just for the show, but that was the note that we ended on with this episode. A very awkward episode in many ways. Some people might like it. I just thought it was really weird. But the baby shower stuff I thought was good. So I would just, I don't know. If you're a fan of the show, I would probably not watch this with anyone else just because it's a very awkward episode to be watching with like your parent or kid. Definitely don't show this to your kid, even if they're a Bella Twin fan. So anyway, that was Season 6, Episode 4 of Total Bellas as seen on the E! Network. I will be back next week with my next review of the show. Probably next Sunday, so stay tuned for that. And also check out all my other Total Bellas reviews right here on the channel in the description box down below in the playlist entitled Total Bellas Reviews. Be sure to like this video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. Have a great one, guys. I'm Graham G. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.